In an NFL that has become more and more reliant on the passing game, it is very important to surround your quarterback with weapons. Star wide receivers have become even more of a premium in the league, and in the 2024 NFL Draft, we may be looking at the greatest wide receiver prospect of all time, Ohio State's Marvin Harrison Jr. The name sounds familiar. Well, he is the son of Hall of Fame Colts wide receiver Marvin Harrison, and Harrison Jr. has absolutely all the tools that you would look for in a superstar wide receiver. And today, we will be breaking that down. But hey guys, if you guys are new to the channel, I will be doing these prospect spotlights on a bunch of top prospects in the 2024 NFL Draft, and we have already covered quarterback Caleb Williams. If you guys enjoy this series, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you are new, and leave a comment and let me know what you guys think of Harrison Jr. But without further ado, let's get into it. Marvin Harrison has been dominant in his tenure at Ohio State. A former 4-star recruit, Harrison has made a name for himself as one of the best wide receivers in college football. In 2022, Harrison posted 77 receptions for 1,263 yards and 14 touchdowns. He came in second place at the Biletnikoff Award, which was ultimately given to Tennessee wide receiver Jalin Hyatt, but showed he could be an absolute force for years to come. In the college football playoff, Marvin Harrison Jr. really started the game off strong, but went out with an injury. Had he been healthy, he could have helped lead Ohio State to a national title. The first thing that stands out when you are watching Marvin Harrison Jr. is the man's size. Standing at 6'3", 205 pounds, Harrison has the ideal size for a wide receiver. Not only is he tall, but with his long arms, he has a pretty large catch radius. There are very few balls that were thrown his way that he was not able to come down with. He only had 4 drops on the entire season in 2022. He has feathery soft hands and never drops the ball. On top of the feathery hands, Harrison has unbelievable body control. He is never pushed off his route. He plays very balanced and always has awareness on where he is on the field. His ability on the sidelines is unmatched. He does an unbelievable job of making sure to get his toes in bounds before coming down with the ball. He shows amazing strengths with his body and does a very good job at selling his routes. Harrison is nearly impossible to guard, especially in press coverage. He is going to win the 50-50 balls, and he's going to be able to separate. That's another thing Harrison does well. He is an excellent route runner. Harrison breaks out of his route very quickly. He has a nice quick first step off the line of scrimmage. He does a fantastic job of using double moves and showing he will go one way before cutting it back and going the opposite direction. Harrison is a threat at all 3 levels. He can be a threat to make a short play down the middle. He can be a threat in the middle of the field. And he can also be a deep ball threat where you could throw the ball to him 40 yards. He can do it all. We saw that on display at Youngstown State just last weekend. While there is so much to love about Marvin Harrison Jr., there are a few weaknesses to look at in his game. The first one is his speed. When he tested his 40-yard dash in high school, he came in at around the 4.6 range. That's not ideal for a superstar wide receiver. However, there have been numerous reports that Harrison has reached 4.3 speed. 4.3 speed is rare for anybody to reach, but if Marvin Harrison Jr., a player of his size, was running at 4.3, it's over for the league. And the rumored speed could be true. We've seen it early on in the season. Harrison Jr. definitely looks a lot faster and a lot quicker to start the year. Even so, if he isn't in that 4.3 range, his game speed isn't that bad. He has good quickness and burst, but as of now, his testing doesn't show that he has these blazing speed that other wide receivers possess. But that might not even be a weakness come draft time. Another area of improvement for Harrison is his gather. Oftentimes Harrison will catch the ball and then turn and then run. It's not one fluid motion, which limits his yard after catch opportunity for him. He needs to be able to make that all one fluid motion. It just doesn't look natural for him. Doesn't look like natural movements, but this is something that can be taught, and I think he's going to end up developing as he gets more experienced and once he gets to the NFL. Lastly, Harrison Jr. could slightly improve as a run blocker. He struggles to hold his blocks from time to time, and while he is not a bad blocker, he is inconsistent in that regard. Because of his inefficiency in run blocking, I think he would be best suited in a pass-first offense, an offense that likes to move the ball down the field quickly. Ideally, you want Harrison playing with a superstar quarterback, someone who could push the ball to him deep down the field and throw him open. I think a vertical scheme is the best scheme for Marvin Harrison Jr. With all the tools Harrison Jr. has, he comes in as my wide receiver 1 in the 2024 NFL Draft. He's my number 2 overall player in the class of 2024. Harrison Jr. is a special athlete. He is by far the greatest wide receiver prospect I have seen in my lifetime. There's not much to dislike about his game. Even his weaknesses aren't that major, and you're really nitpicking to find weaknesses in his game. While it's a lofty comparison, I really do see some Randy Moss when I look at Marvin Harrison Jr. The size, speed, hands, and everything he has on the football field makes him a generational wide receiver prospect. I'm not saying he's going to be as good as Randy Moss, but he reminds me of Randy Moss in terms of play style, their aggressiveness, speed, and physicality. For all the reasons I have mentioned, and with all the physical tools that Marvin Harrison Jr. has, he's one of the greatest wide receiver prospects of all time. I think if you threw him into the NFL today, Harrison would immediately be a top 10 wide receiver. For this reason, I think Marvin Harrison Jr. will be a top 3 pick in the 2024 NFL Draft.